Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Bryony and I'm one half of the Indecisive Readers. I probably should address the kind of bow across my boobs. Basically, I am filming my anticipated releases for 2021 video and they are like gifts to me, but I don't have any gifts to give to you, so like I've wrapped myself up to look like a gift because I am the greatest gift of all. But yeah, I just thought I'd go through and talk about some of the books I'm really looking forward to next year. This isn't to say this list contains the only books I'm excited about next year, but it is to say here are 12, I think it's 12 of the ones I'm excited about. So yeah, I'm just going to get in and talk about them because there are a few and therefore we may be here for a while. What I'm going to do is talk about them in kind of chronological order, so in the order they come out, and I will just read a kind of synopsis unless it's the sequel or something, in which case I will read a synopsis or give you a synopsis of the first one. But the first one on this list is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. Angie Thomas is the author of The Hate U Give and another one that I can't remember the name of right now. I have only read The Hate U Give, but her writing was very impactful and so important. Like, having a black author writing these stories is just amazing. Concrete Rose, the synopsis goes: with his King Lord dad in prison and his mum working 2 jobs, 17-year-old Maverick Carter helps the only way he knows how, slinging drugs. Life's not perfect, but he's got everything under control, until he finds out he's a father. Suddenly, it's not so easy to deal drugs and finish school with a baby dependent on him for everything. So when he's offered the chance to go straight, he takes it. But when King Lord blood runs through your veins, you don't get to just walk away. Angie Thomas's writing is really interesting because it kind of deals with black culture but also working class culture, and I just have the feeling that this is going to be incredible because you so rarely read stories about teen parents and single dads, and so to have that combined in one, I think this is just going to be amazing. The next one on my list is We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faisal. This one comes out on the 19th of January. I can't tell you what this one specifically is about because it is the sequel to We Hunt the Flame, but I will read you the synopsis for the first one. People lived because she killed, people died because he lived. Nobody knows that Zafira is the hunter. Forced to disguise herself as a man, she braves the cursed forest to feed her people. If she is exposed as a girl, all of her achievements will be rejected. Nasir is the infamous Prince of Death, assassinating those foolish enough to defy his autocratic father, the Sultan. If he refuses, he will be punished in the most brutal of ways. Both are legends in the kingdom of Arawiya, but neither wants to be. And when Zafira embarks on a quest to restore magic to her suffering world, Nasir is sent by the Sultan on a similar mission: retrieve magic and kill the hunter. But an ancient evil stirs as their journey unfolds, and the prize they seek may pose a greater threat than either can imagine. I read the first one last November, so about a year ago, so I may have to reread that to reread the sequel, but I am really excited to read it. Rereading that summary reminded me of how much I enjoyed it, and so I think I will try and maybe pick it up in January, possibly before it comes out. We will see. The next book on my list is also a sequel, and it is The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon. It comes out on the 26th of January. This is the 4th book in the Bone Season series, so again, I can't tell you what it specifically is about, but I can read you the summary for the first one. For the past 200 years, the Scion government has led an oppressive campaign against unnaturalness in London. Clairvoyance in all its form has been decreed a criminal offence, and those who practice it are viciously punished. Forced underground, a clairvoyant underworld has developed, combating persecution and evading capture. Paige Mahoney, a powerful dreamwalker operating in the Seven Dials district of London, leads a double life, using her unnaturalness legally while hiding her gift from her father, who works for the Scion regime. Then something else happens, and obviously the book spiral from there, but like I said, I can't tell you specifically what The Mask Falling is about, but I'm really excited to read it. I am currently rereading the first 3 books in the series, including the novellas, and I actually have an e-arc of it, so I'm hoping to read it before it comes out, and I'm hoping to read like the next 2 this month. But we will see. We will see. But I'm so excited to read it. I think it's going to be fantastic. Sam's read it in advance. A lot of other people have read it and said it's so good, and I'm just very excited. Once again, the next book on my list is a sequel, and that is Reaper of Souls by Rena Barron. This one comes out on the 18th of February and it is the sequel to Kingdom of Souls. I haven't actually read Kingdom of Souls as of filming this, but I'm hoping to read it in December. I know this video is coming out at the end of December, but I'm filming this at the end of November. So I can't tell you personally what it's about, but I will read the blurb and it'll be quite useful for me because I don't actually really know what it's about. I just know that lots of people like it and therefore I am excited from kind of other people. Ara is a young woman from a long line of the most powerful witch doctors in the land, but she fails at magic, fails to call upon the ancestors, and can't even cast the simplest curse. Shame and disappointment dog her. When strange premonitions befall her family and children in the kingdom begin to disappear, Ara undergoes the dangerous and scorned process of selling years of her life for magic. This borrowed power reveals a nightmarish betrayal and a danger beyond what she could have imagined. Now Ara must find a way to master magic, or at least buy it, in order to save herself and everything she holds dear. So I'm very excited to read it. Like I said, I don't know a lot about it, but fingers crossed the first one is good, otherwise this video will be disappointing. I promise these won't all be sequels, I think, but somehow we end up in March for this one. I think at the end of March, actually. The next book on my list is Descendants of the First by Renee K. Amayo. This comes out on the 30th of March and it is the sequel to Daughters of Henri. Now, I'm hesitant to put this on here because I read Daughters of Henri earlier in the year and didn't love it as much as I thought I would. And then the Myth Tape Reads group pick was this and no one liked it. Everyone kind of gave it 2 stars or just DNF'd it. And I'm like, did I remember it being better than it actually is then? But I'm going to include it just in case. I may still pick it up because I am intrigued to see how it kind of concludes, because I believe it is a duology, but it wasn't my favourite, so it's not super exciting to get to. A gruesome war results in the old gods' departure from Earth. The only remnants of their existence lie in 2 girls, twins, separated at birth. Goddesses who grow up believing that they are human. Strong-willed Nala grows up seeking adventure in her quiet and small village, while the more reserved Sinai resides in the cold and political palace of Henri. Though miles apart, both girls share an indestructible bond. They share the same blood, the same face, and possess the same unspoken magic, thought to have vanished with the lost gods. The twins were separated at birth, a price paid to ensure their survival from the Eze, the man who rules the kingdom of Henri. Both girls are tested in ways that awaken a mystical, formidable power deep within themselves. Eventually their paths both lead back to the mighty Eze. But can they defeat the man who brought the gods themselves to their knees? Now, I don't know what the sequel's going to be about, because obviously I haven't reread it for this video, and I don't know what it's about because the major problem that was implied in this one, I don't want to say it without like spoiling it, but it feels like a bigger problem than it is, kind of like. It feels like that's the thing that's going to carry on over both books, but not quite. So I don't know. I am intrigued to read it just because I want to know what's going to happen, but we'll see. So the next book I have comes out on the 13th of April and it is Malice by Heather Walter. This is apparently a queer retelling of Cinderella, and so I am very excited to read it, and let's just see what the blurb actually says. Once upon a time there was a wicked fairy who, in an act of vengeance, cursed a line of princesses to die. A curse that could only be broken by true love's kiss. You've heard this before, haven't you? The handsome prince, the happily ever after. Utter nonsense. Let me tell you, no one in Briar actually cares about what happens to its princesses, not the way they care about their jewels and elaborate parties and charm-granting elixirs. I thought I didn't care either, until I met her. Princess Aurora, the last heir to Briar's throne, kind, gracious, the future queen her realm needs. One who isn't bothered that I am Alice, the dark grace, abhorred and feared for the mysterious dark magic that runs in my veins. Humiliated and shamed by the same nobles who pay me to bottle hexes, then brand me a monster. Aurora says I should be proud of my gifts, that she cares for me, even though a power like mine was responsible for her curse. But with less than a year until that curse kills her, Any future I might see with Aurora is swiftly disintegrating, and she can't stand to kiss yet another insipid prince. I want to help her. If my power began her curse, perhaps it's what can lift it. Perhaps together we could forge a new world. Nonsense again. Because we all know how this story ends, don't we? Aurora is the beautiful princess, and I am the villain. That just sounds fantastic. I'm so excited to read it. If there are any advanced copies out there, I will be like manifesting some hope to get hold of it. The next book I have on this list comes out on the 20th of April, and that is Witches Steeped in Gold by Kianan Smart. I don't really know a lot about this, but the cover looked amazing, looked very shiny, and therefore, like a magpie, I was drawn to it. Iria Adair has spent her life in a cell. Heir of an overthrown and magically gifted dynasty, she was exiled from her home on the island nation of Ica when she was just a child, but every day brings her closer to freedom and vengeance. Jasmine Caro grew up dressed in gold, with stolen magic at her fingertips. Daughter of the self-crowned Doyen, her existence is a threat to her mother's rule, but unlike her sister, Jasmine has no power of dying to strengthen her mother's power. Sworn enemies, the two witches enter a deadly alliance to take down the woman who threatens both their worlds. But revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain except the lengths Iria and Jasmine will go to win this game. Two witches, one motive, and a very untrustworthy alliance. That sounds really, really interesting. I like the magic, I like the intrigue, it feels a bit like it's going to be an enemies to lover romance, but like, I don't know if it is queer, but like, it feels like it is, and it would be a very good kind of romance, but like, I'm not saying it's queer, I'm just saying it would be good if it was. So the next book on my list comes out on the 29th of April, and that is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. So I've got an advanced reader's copy of it, which I am amazed to have got because everyone seems to be really excited about, and then just one day the publicist emailed me being like, do you want a copy? And I'm like, yes please. And then I posted a picture and everyone was so excited, and I mean, I am excited, but I didn't know like everyone was so excited, and now I am very confused about how I've got it, but it looks gorgeous. It's meant to be for fans of Circe and The Silence of the Girls, those kind of stories where it retells Greek mythology but with a feminist lens. So I'm just going to read what it's about. As princesses of Crete and daughters of the fearsome King Minos, Ariadne and her sister Phaedra grow up hearing the hoofbeats and bellows of the Minotaur echo from the labyrinth every year. The Minotaur, Minos's great shame, and Ariadne's brother, demands blood every year. When Theseus, Prince of Athens, arrives in Crete as a sacrifice to the beast, Ariadne falls in love with him, but helping Theseus kill the monster means betraying her family and country, and Ariadne knows only too well that in a world ruled by mercurial gods, drawing their attention can cost you everything. In a world where women are nothing more than the pawns of powerful men, will Ariadne's decision to betray Crete for Theseus ensure her happy ending, or will she find herself sacrificed for her lover's ambition? I think it sounds so interesting. What I'm hoping to do, because it doesn't come out until April, is read the original story. I'm not sure where I would find it. I assume, I don't know, but I will find that and read it, and then I will hopefully have some kind of more knowledge to bring to it, and I'm just really, really excited and so pleased to have my hands on it. The next book I have also comes out on the 29th of April, and that is The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. Beth O'Leary is the author of The Switch and The Flat Share, and they are some of my favourite books. The Flat Share I absolutely adore, keep finding myself going back to, and this sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like proper rom-com, and I just adore those books. So the synopsis says, Addie and her sister are about to embark on an epic road trip to a friend's wedding in rural Scotland. The playlist is all planned and the snacks are packed. But not long after setting off, a car slams into the back of theirs. The driver is none other than Addie's ex, Dylan, who she's avoided since their traumatic breakup 2 years earlier. Dylan and his best mate are heading to the wedding too, and they've totaled their car, so Addie has no choice but to offer them a ride. The car is soon jam-packed, full of luggage and secrets, and with 400 miles ahead of them, Dylan and Addie can't avoid confronting the very messy history of their relationship. Will they make it to the wedding on time? And, more importantly, is this really the end of the road for Addie and Dylan? I think it sounds like a really interesting concept for a book, because obviously the book is set in the journey, but I remember the author saying it kind of flashes back to a previous road trip they went on. I think they went to Paris or something, or somewhere in France, and I think that sounds really interesting, the way that she's gonna write it. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it's done, and I'm hoping it's going to be incredible. Next on my list comes out on the 13th of May, and that is the Yearbook by Holly Bourne. I adore all of Holly Bourne's books, and I have no doubt I'm going to enjoy this too. The blurb says, working on the school newspaper, Paige is used to dealing with fake stories. How popular girl Grace is such an amazing person. Lie. How Laura steals people's boyfriends. Lie. How her own family are so perfect. Lie. Now Grace and her friends have picked their best high school moments for Paige to put in the all-important yearbook. And they're not just fake, they're poison. But Paige has had enough of all the lies in her life. And with the help of Elijah, the only boy who could ever understand her, she's going to reveal the truth. Like I said, I have adored every other Holly Bourne book up until now, so I have no doubt that this will not be the exception to that rule. So the next book I have on this list comes out on the 18th of May, and that is In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. I didn't know what this was about, but when I added it to my wish list, I realised it said at the very start there's a pansexual character, and I don't think I've ever read that before, and so I'm like so excited to pick it up. Right, so this is what it says in the bold, and then I'll read you the summary. A pansexual blood mage reluctantly teams up with an undead spirit to start a rebellion among the living and the dead in this dark YA fantasy. Good. In Thenopolis, those gifted with magic are assigned undead spirits to guard them and control them. Ever since Rovin's father died, trying to keep her from this fate, she's hidden her magic. But when she accidentally reveals her powers, she's bound to a spirit and thrust into a world of palace intrigue and deception. Desperate to escape, Rovin finds herself falling for two people she can't fully trust. Lydia, a beguiling rebellious princess, and Evilros, the handsome spirit with the ability to control Rovin body and soul. Together they uncover a secret that will destroy Thenopolis. To save them all, Rovin will have to start a rebellion in both the mortal world and the underworld, and find a way to trust the princess and spirit battling for her heart, if she doesn't betray them first. I am so excited to read that. Like, that may be one I pre-order. Maybe. But it sounds incredible, and I'm so excited to read it. My last one is a sequel again, and it comes out on the 10th of June. This is A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown, which is the sequel to A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, which I read the other month and adored. So I'm so excited to read it, and once again, the cover is incredible. Like, I love the fact that it's got the guy on it, and I know the author was really excited about it too. So, let me read you the synopsis of the first one. For Malik, the Solstasia Festival is a chance to escape his war-stricken home and start a new life with his sisters in the prosperous desert city of Zuran. But when a vengeful spirit abducts his younger sister, Nadina, as payment to enter the city, Malik strikes a fatal deal: kill Karina, crown princess of Zuran for Nadia's freedom. But Karina has deadly aspirations of her own. Her mother, the Sultana, has been assassinated. Her court threatens mutiny, and Solstasia looms like a knife over her neck. Grief-stricken Karina decides to resurrect her mother through ancient magic, requiring the beating heart of a king. And she knows just how to obtain one, by offering her hand in marriage to the victor of the Solstasia Festival. When Malik rigs his way into the contest, they are set on a heart-pounding course to destroy each other, but as attraction flares between them and ancient evil stirs, will they be able to see their task to the death? So good. Like, the enemies to lovers romance in this is possibly the best I've ever read. It's incredible, and I'm so excited to see how it like pans out in the sequel. I got the Fairy Loot edition of the first one, and so I'm hoping they will be doing a sequel, and so excited. But yeah, those are 12 of the books I'm really excited to read. Let me know if you're also excited to read them, or if you think there are any I'm missing. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Happy Christmas to you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.